Hey guys, it's Joe IT Abbott here, and welcome to a Walking Dead review. This is going to be my review for Season 7, Episode 7, titled The Portrait. If you have not seen any of the Fear the Walking Dead episodes leading up to this one, or Season 7, please do yourself a favor. They're on Hulu. Go watch them, because this review will contain some massive spoilers. I swear, this is actually really big spoilers. Like, seriously, if you have not seen the episode, seriously, click off the video right fucking now. Alright, I'm done playing. Alright, you guys gone? You guys gone that don't care about spoilers? Or that care about spoilers, I mean? Sorry. Alicia's back! Alicia Clark has fucking returned! And I am so excited to talk about it. She returns at the end, so we're going to save that for the end. But as you can tell, I'm insanely hyped. Oh, man. So, this episode is my favorite episode of the season, probably. It's such an awesome episode. Not just because Alicia returns, trust me. There is so much awesome shit in this episode. So much good writing. So this episode is about Morgan coming to the tower with a sick baby Mo, seeking Victor Strand's help. And of course, you know, Victor Strand and Morgan have had this rivalry this whole season. So you can imagine how that's gonna go. And meanwhile, while he's in there, there are the stalkers, which of course are people that Will mentioned in Season 7, Episode 1. Those guys that are skinning the walkers. They start chunking walkers at the tower that are actually radiated with that piece of dud missile that they found in 704. So that's not good. I really love this episode titled The Portrait, because we get to see the portrait of Strand being made. We get to see the whole process of it, like different days. He just sits down. He, you know, poses, not really poses, he's like, I don't want you to paint what you're seeing, I want you to paint me. You know, that's what he tells his artist that he has there painting. And I really enjoy the fact that, like, he gets all these calls each day of people wanting to be let into the tower. It's like, we already have people with your skill set. Hangs up. Like, Howard just said they can hold, like, 1,000 people. He just said that in 705. He said, you know, I think we can hold like 1,000 or something like that. And then they're just like turning people away, like with the drop of a hat. At least Strand is. Howard doesn't exactly agree with him on that. But yeah, I just think it's funny. I was like, we already have somebody with your skill set. And then it's like, oh, I'm sorry, you'll have to find somewhere else. It's like, he's just such a dick about it. And I love Victor Strand solely this season, mainly because he's just being such a dick. Like, he does not make any apologies for anything he's done in this season. And I mean, he's done some horrible shit. Of course, he killed Will. He, you know, he doesn't let Sarah into the tower. He keeps rubbing it into Morgan's face. Like when he found June and John Doerr Sr., he's like, they're with me now. You suck. And then, of course, in 705, hiring Eli to kill, you know, the Larson family that Dwight and Sherry were staying with. That is by far the worst thing he's done, I think, in this season so far. But we'll see. We'll see what he does in the back half of the season. But, damn. Wow. He has done some fucked up shit. And that fucked up shit continues in this episode. So Strand, he does eventually let Morgan into the tower after he throws the fucking painting off of the roof. He's like, you don't see me. None of you do. And he's like, just let Morgan in because, you know, he has a proposition for Morgan that if, you know, he wants to see Baby Mo again, because, like, Morgan is like, you can't expect me to take a deal that I don't know the terms of. And Victor Strand is like, this is not a negotiation. It's like, you do what I say, or you're never seeing Baby Mo again. So, what's the deal? Morgan has to find Alicia, because Victor doesn't think that if he finds her that, you know, she'd want him to. He doesn't believe that she'd want him to find her. It's basically the same thing we're going through in episode 1 of season 7, where Victor believes that having Alicia in the tower could potentially make him feel at home, I guess, or part of himself, because there's something missing in the tower for him, and that's Alicia. He tried getting rid of that emotion, that emotional tie, by throwing Will off the roof, because he would be a constant reminder of Alicia. So then in this episode, he just accepts it. He's like, I need Alicia. Morgan, go out and find her. That is when things get crazy, because we get the walkers being flung at the building by the stalkers, and Strand is trying to negotiate with Arno, which seems to be leading this little group of rebellious antagonists. I said rebellious. Basically, they're Alicia's people. I'll just say that right now. She is revealed to be the leader of the stalkers by the end. I'm not sure if that's what they call themselves, or that's just what Alicia calls them. But yeah, she's the leader of the stalkers, but Arno and his group broke off from Alicia, so they're separate. Don't worry, Alicia is not having people walk around the apocalypse skinning walkers and chucking them at people with a fucking catapult, because that's what we're doing in this episode. Oh man, that's insane. Just chucking walkers with a catapult. That's funny. But then all of a sudden, Strand, he comes down ill, and Strand's been poisoned. What? Who poisoned him? And that's what we're gonna find out in this episode. I can't wait to reveal you guys the big fucking M. Night Shyamalan type twist. Actually, no. M. Night Shyamalan twists aren't always good. This is a really good fucking twist. Really good twist. So, Strand is wondering, who could have poisoned me? And he keeps telling, because John Dorie Sr.'s asking, let me interrogate, somebody, because somebody in here has poisoned you. Because he's coughing up, not just colorful shit. So June's like, that's radiation poisoning. And, it could be from the walker, but, Victor Strand is got his heart set on it. He's like, no, someone poisoned me. Who the fuck did it? And he's waving his sword around, pointing it at Howard, JD, Morgan, June, everybody. And he even let slip to Wendell that he didn't let Sarah into the tower, which I'm sure that hurts Wendell a lot. He's like, wait, you did what? And by the way, yeah, I'm happy to see Wendell in this episode. I wasn't 100% sure if Wendell was actually in the tower. I didn't know if Strand was just telling a bold-faced lie, but I'm glad he is. Glad he's there. Yeah, I was happy to see him, honestly. So then Morgan comes up with the idea to get one of the walkies and radio Grace and Sarah to hit the stalkers from the side with the MRAP. So him and Strand go down to the elevator shaft. They have a little sequence where Morgan scales down the elevator shaft. There's walkers there. Meanwhile, Strand is having kind of a heart-to-heart with Baby Mo. Basically, he even says, my father barely paid any attention to me. I thought that was a nice little element to kind of at least attempt to redeem Strand a tiny, tiny bit. And then they lower Baby Mo down, and that works out. And then, Victor's like, you're not going to come back for me, are you? And then that's when, Morgan just walks away, and Strand mentions Alicia, and Morgan turns around, and that is the switch that clicks in Morgan's head where he's like, I can still help Victor, and, me and Victor can make amends from this. So, the MRAP hits the stalkers from off screen. They go away, and then Victor and Morgan have a conversation where they basically put their differences aside. They decide we need to find Alicia together. And I really, really was liking that element of teamwork, because this rivalry has been heated, and it was kind of nice to see them resolve it. But that is when Strand sees Morgan's fingertip, and he has some of the poison that he used to put in Strand's drink earlier in the episode. Morgan is the poisoner. He poisoned Strand, and that is when a fight ensues, and Morgan has Strand on the ropes, basically nearly pushing him over the elevator opening. That's when Howard teleports there and intervenes, and they almost do throw Morgan off the roof. But, nah. Nah, that's when Grace swoops in, saves the day, and basically trades her and Baby Mo's safety at the tower for Morgan to be let go. So Grace and Baby Mo are at the tower now with Strand. They are basically Morgan's insurance that he will not come back there to the tower. He is banished indefinitely. That is for certain. But it's not all bad, because that is when Morgan runs into Dwight and Sherry. They find him. They take him back to the Stalkers, and that is when we get the reveal that Alicia is the leader of the Stalkers. Such a satisfying ending to this episode, and then we even get the walkers with the bits of the dud nuke there, and the Stalkers shoot the walkers, and it explodes, and it's like a big red puff of nuclear shit and blood, and then that's how the episode ends. They're all running away from it, but damn, I really, really loved Alicia's entry back into the show. She's like, "You look like shit, Morgan." He's like, "Well, to be honest, I feel like shit," and they hug, because I always liked their bond. But we have plenty of to talk about in the episode 8 review, because a lot of shit happens in that. So I'll see you guys when I do that review. Let me know what you thought of the episode down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, and goodbye.